Uno.
Here
Hello,
we
Internet.
go.
I just read
Hello,
the
Internet.
notes that said unnamed monk has reached level 6 and has an unarmored movement speed of 45.
45 feet? Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Wow.
unnamed monk. And the unnamed druid has speak with beasts or whatever it's got there too, which is funny. It's interesting it did a worse job of picking up the people, like who was associated with who, but did a pretty good job of summarizing what was happening. Wow, that's actually so good.
I've never heard about someone drinking to stay awake though. That time.
I mean, I've done it.
I feel like it makes me so sleepy. I just want to go to bed.
There's a point where it can rally you up.
Yeah.
All the Wisconsin guys in the call.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Sarah's like, no comment.
The party's in the midst of political intrigue.
That's true.
Sway the tide of a civil.
That's true.
I know. I'm just saying this AI is too kind. Like.
Yeah, so I'll read it out loud for some of the internet folks so that we know. So you guys are on the mission to help the king and the various lords and ladies that you've been attached to. You've got and successfully heisted some important documents that could potentially, well, you haven't really looked at them yet to get too much of a detail. Ratscratch took a bit of a gander at them, but you haven't seen too much of what they are, deciphered too much of what they are, I should say. But you know that they could be pretty conclusive proof, you hope, for there were a set of code names for about 5 different lords, if you remember, in the documents that were definitely implicated in basically trying to overthrow the king. And you were able to suspect Lord Hollis as one of them, but other than that, you couldn't identify the other ones. You recognized that with these documents now, what you need to do is to return to the surface and kind of prove what's happening, and thereby hopefully save the city of Dweller's Den, which is where you currently are now in the Underdark, and potentially save the king and or stop a civil war that's happening on the surface. Unfortunately, you got tied up in a magical artifact, and the disrupting powers in Dweller's Den have also targeted you. You're basically just outside of their base in the sewers underneath Dweller's Den. You're looking for a way to escape right now. You know that your artifacts that you've carried from the 5 are linked somehow to this room, which you are now currently at, as well as about 20 or so prisoners that you rescued that have now formed the seed of a religious flock for your bard, who seems to be leaning into this.
As one
very hard,
should.
but concerningly so, you might say. But you also, the prison was basically fueled by a magical artifact called the Soul Siphon, which you damaged in your escape from it, but decided to take the artifact with you. It has had an unfortunate interaction with magic and magical items and places as you've carried it around. You've noticed effects similar to what would be described as wild magic surges as it interacts or has a spell cast nearby. So while the majority of you were able to go into the room of the 5, rest and recuperate, there was a barracks for the prisoners so that they could also do the same thing. You also set watch outside in the sewers. And outside, you also kept the artifact for fear of it interacting with this clearly magical room that you've been in several times before. Your watches were mostly uneventful. Kaydren, you heard some voices kind of at a distance. You couldn't recognize what language they were speaking, or really, you couldn't even recognize if it was a language you knew because it was just sort of like that echoey. You could hear what is clearly conversation, but not enough that you could pick up much beyond that. Yasi, you picked up. You were involved in a swarm of rats that crossed by, and you tapped into your druidic skills to ask them. And they signified that they were running from basically their place of food and shelter because large creatures and or humanoids had invaded it, and so they were all swarming away from the direction that you had come. And that was kind of how the watch ended. So you guys are daybreak. You are now fully rested. You are level 6. You have the wizard Thalarin with you, who is a magic high-level wizard who is very, very focused on the study of magical artifacts. He's joined you because his current obsession is the soul siphon, even in its damaged state, and he's interested to see what that may or may not do as you proceed out. You have about 20 or so followers right now, prisoners that were in various stages of basically slow death while they were under the grip of the soul siphon. Those that were under longer are frail, weak, run down. Those that were only there in a short time are recovering their faculties a little bit faster. They're a little bit skittish and fearful, as you might imagine. Remember that the soul siphon basically subjected them to their worst nightmares over and over and over again. And so that had some traumatic effect on the group, and probably what led them to be easily swayed by their new religious figure of Ratscratch, the Kinku Bard. So day has broken. Your mission to escape is in progress. You don't know what caused the rat swarm, but you do know that by turning into a snake, Yasi was able to divert the swarm around the artifact itself. Wudao, you were on that same watch as well, so the two of you kind of protected the artifact and were able to report back. It is morning now. You have the artifact, you have the 20 or so followers, you have the wizard with you, and you are deep within the Underdark looking for a way out. What would you like to do?
I've got some plans. Okay, so
I've got some plans.
we need to get the fuck
Uh-oh.
out of here. We need to get the fuck out of here. But on the way out, I would like to.
I'm so sorry, but this is the most classic you guys group. Guys, we have a mission to get the fuck out of here. But first.
No, I would like to gather up bits of paper to write down the 10 commandments of the bird, and
Oh, no.
and nail them about various places along the way, not leaving a breadcrumb trail of our escape route, but I'm going to send my disciples to spread the commandments around, and meet us at the surface.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the only thing I'd like
What
to
are
do.
the commandments, Ryan?
Okay.
I know. I
we
know
get
you
into
wrote
that,
them
I've
down
got them down.
somewhere. I know
they're
you
coming.
did.
They're coming.
They're coming.
There's plenty of paper in the room of the 5. If you remember, one of the main in the room with the dais, the main room, there are a couple of bookshelves with some kind of like table with maps and other scrolls, as well as plenty of blank sheets, and it's clear that there was note taking or map making or anything that needed to be transferred to paper.
Mhm.
So there's plenty of blank paper that you could repurpose over there. It is quite old, but it's definitely available.
And then I need to.
And in terms of sending out your followers, like, tell me, remember you're in the sewers and they're with you. So when you want them to break away from the party, make sure you tell me. You can't just generally send them out unless you want to try that right now.
No, I don't want to try that just yet.
Okay.
And the followers I do send out are going to be the ones that are the healthiest and the most capable and able-bodied. I'm not gonna leave sight of the weakest of them. But I'm also going to, of the followers, I need a scribe. I need my first disciple,
The historian.
yeah.
Or the
So whoever is capable of writing the word of the bird.
Why don't you also write it, and then you can also use your mage hand, so you could get 3 copies produced at a time.
I could.
Minor note, Ryan, for whatever reason, the Twitch overlay now has us in different spots. I don't know if our names got reordered or something.
Oh
in
shit!
terms
Yeah.
of the camera.
No, I'm seeing that.
So it's camera order, right, in the Discord?
Yeah,
Which we
it
are-
is.
Did somebody rename themselves?
Somebody has changed their names. I
I
don't know.
did.
Oh, it's
What were you
Joe.
before?
I was kills. No, I'm
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That would be it.
I
So,
can,
Okay.
I can fix it. But-
And you guys are all level 6. Okay,
Bear
that's
with
it.
me.
I didn't mean to distract. I just was looking at the overlay going, this doesn't seem quite right.
Yep, I'm not Yasi.
I'm gonna effectively be level 5 because I didn't level myself up.
You're welcome to work on that right now as we play, if you'd like to do that.
That's not a bad idea.
If you have any sidebar questions, just shoot them over.
What does everyone use for their character thing? I was using a spreadsheet, but I don't like
D&D
it.
Beyond. I can send you an invitation link so that you can get
The best of the best.
the paid service stuff.
Give me the paid service stuff, please.
Give me the paid service.
Give me the fancy pantsy.
So weren't we sleeping the night so that Valorant can teleport us all over to the place now? No.
No, he doesn't. While he does have some means of teleportation, he has not offered and has not indicated the ability to do so. You guys were just on your way out, and you ran into the room, basically.
Yep.
Isn't there like is there still the physical opening though to get into that one treetop inn? Or was that sealed? Like did that close itself?
So you're talking about the Rock Tavern where you first came in,
I was at the Rock Tavern, yeah.
and
Yeah.
no, there's no hole in the ceiling right now.
But we did fall through there
You
into
did.
this room once
Yes.
before.
Correct.
But it's sealed up as if it was never there, right?
Okay.
Like,
Exactly.
that's what ended up happening.
Magical.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's magical,
Invitation
but-
link is in
Not
your chat.
Yes, thank y'all.
So the 10 Commandments of the Bird.
Yes.
Oh, I want to hear them, yes.
Thou shalt spread thy wings with courage, for the sky is vast and full of possibility.
Are these in like random order though, or ascending importance?
No, these are in no particular order.
Okay, just wanted to...
In true Kinku style.
Yes.
Chaos.
Thou shalt trust the winds that guide thee, for they carry wisdom in their currents. So, even when the winds seem harsh or uncertain, trust that they will lead you to where you need to go. You need not see the destination, only the next step. Deep, deep, very deep. Thou shalt sing thy song, for thy voice is a gift, and must be heard. Thou shalt not fear the storm, for the storm makes thee stronger. Honor thy flock, for you are not alone in the sky. Thou shalt not be bound by the earth, but rise above it with faith. Are you dying
That's
over
so
there?
funny.
Yeah.
This
'Cause,
is rude and disrespectful.
No, it's
in
okay.
Catholicism, it's honor thy father, so
Yeah.
honor thy flock.
Honor thy flock.
It's a good,
Absolutely.
such a good twist.
Thou shalt keep thine eyes on the horizon, for the future is as wide as the open sky. Thou shalt be patient in flight, for the winds will come when they are ready. Thou shalt respect the earth beneath thee, for it is the foundation upon which you take flight, and thou shalt never forget the joy of flight, for to soar is to truly be free. I'm leaning pretty heavily into some desires here, but also I borrowed heavily from Catholicism.
You know, I can't decide what I hate more about this list. One, how actually close it is to real religious commandments, or two, how clearly it's designed to manipulate your followers.
Oh, yeah.
And I am definitely not at all making a link between those two things.
It's wonderful.
I think my
isn't it?
favorite commandment is don't worry where we're going, just trust me, bro.
Just trust me, bro.
Trust me, bro.
That's
Basically,
essentially the
most
one
of
was
those
like,
commandments,
don't
man.
worry about the
Like,
destination, just worry about what I told you the next step is.
Yep.
Just trust me, bro.
Have faith in bad times. Good times will come as long as you trust me, bro.
Don't worry about that. No.
What you're telling me is you went to a Chinese restaurant like about 10 different times and just got a whole bunch of fortune cookies and then just roasted bird style is basically what you're telling me
Yeah,
happened?
pretty much.
Yeah.
It checks out.
I swear to God, honor thy flock is amazing. Okay, yeah, you write this out. Do you end up doing the mage hand that to draft it and recruit any of the
Yeah.
followers?
Yeah, I'll
Right.
do that. Yeah, that's simple enough.
Okay. The folks that you have with you don't appear to be like hyper educated by any means, but they're all city dwellers from what you can tell, and so they all seem to have basic ability of reading and writing. So nobody's like illiterate amongst your cult.
Sounds good.
Rude.
What are you? Trying to also rename all of these things while I'm chatting with everybody here. So my goal is to start heading upward with the entire flock.
Okay.
And
I will.
when time opportune, I will send, go this way for 3 minutes, post, and then hurry back. So one at a time, just kind of bap, 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 bap.
Well, keep in mind you're in the sewers now. So when you say I want to head upwards, do you mean you want to go back up into the city?
I'm not the one making all of the decisions here. This is up to the party, but that's what I would like to do. So that's what I post to the party.
Wait, so I thought we were supposed to get back to the wizard's tower. Wasn't that what we were supposed to do?
No, you've left the wizard's tower at this point.
No, I know, but I thought we were trying to get back there?
To a Lauren.
Right.
Nope. You guys were trying to leave.
Oh, okay.
Like leave the room or leave the Underdark?
No, just
Leave
this.
the Underdark.
Right.
Oh.
But I thought still need to do stuff with the soul siphon, and also the fact that what's his face is. Oh, we're just like done with that now. Oh,
You're not necessarily done with anything, right? There's
Right.
nothing like that. But basically, Thalarin was like, this artifact is damaged now. I'd like to keep an eye on it. And you guys are like, yeah, we're going to keep it with us. So come along if you want to. Let's get it out of here. Remember, it's slightly destabilizing.
yeah.
Alarin had something to do, so he used his little plane travel-y GTFO, the caravan. And you guys were like, we got to figure out how to get back to the surface. So you were leaving the wizard's tower itself. So there are multiple options for you guys on how you might want to get up, including ones I probably haven't thought of. So it's really up to you how you guys are going to try and get back to the surface, to Valorsfall itself, if you can.
I'm gonna use this
or-
magical whistle I found that'll just take me to another zone. There's a whirlwind that just takes me away.
Yeah, I get this reference.
Well, so
Good.
while we're here, can we read the note like in its full entirety, or have we already done that?
Which one?
The note, like the note that we stole, that Ratscratch hid on his person, like the most important note, I think. Right? I don't remember
No,
the origin of how he got it, but
He robbed it out of the desk in the research
oh,
house
of
during the heist.
Testa,
Mhm.
right? Yeah, and
Yep.
and so can you remind me what? I don't know if we did read the whole thing. I don't know if we've had a chance to stop and read it.
We have not.
Yeah,
don't
like
believe
so
so,
while
no.
we're in if we're gonna go up to the overworld essentially, and there's like some conspiracy to kill the king, I want to know who the good and bad people are, at least from my perspective. So
I
can
don't
we
even
like?
think Ratscratch has said that has them.
Well,
That's
I
the
know
thing.
I
Is
know
like
Ratscratch has them though because we stole it together. At least that's what Ratscratch and Yasi did.
Yeah.
I mean, I might not know if it was confiscated, but I think we confirmed maybe that. I don't remember if we confirmed that he didn't lose it to the guards, but I'm gonna assume he still has it and be like, hey, Ratscratch, before we get out of here, maybe we should take a look at that note so we know kind of who our
Do you say that?
yeah, so we can figure out what the players like if they're good, bad, who we can trust, who we shouldn't trust. Do you notice anything about that?
You see like a sudden dawning realization that that was a thing that I did. I've completely forgotten about it.
I helped.
Oh yeah.
That was a little cat, magical cat.
That's right. That's right.
Cat.
Do I have it, DM? Did it get taken from me? I
So-
hid it up in my feather pockets.
It's more than just a single thing, but you were able to recover the majority of your items,
Mhm.
all of them, you believe, and so it was included amongst those items. It doesn't appear that your belongings were searched in the time that you were there. You seem to have been rescued before. Remember, you guys had noticed that they were like sort of stockpiling what they had taken off the prisoners, and then were occasionally like sweeping that room and like carrying it all away. Well, you got to it before they carried it all away.
Cool beans.
So you didn't just loot a single document, though. So I'm going to give you a
Yeah.
list of what you did get. If you're going to pause for a second in the room and just kind of, hey, what's this thing that I took? You essentially, if you remember, were like, oh shit, they're coming. You open up this drawer that had important things in it, and you sort of flipped it over into your bag and then put the drawer back. And then you put like knickknacks and stuff in there to like, you know, give it some weight. And then you put the false top back on the drawer.
Mhm.
So inside you had correspondence from various lords. You had some like traveling documents or shipment documents. So bills of lading of like this is what's being transported back and forth. Very common for merchants to carry these, or for I'm carrying this on behalf of so and so. This
Yeah.
is my permission to bring it. That sort of type of document, including what was being traveled. You found some rings that had spiders on them, like sigil type rings. You found significant financial ledger books that appear to reflect a lot of criminal extortion type activity, a lot of protection type activity in the ledgers. And then you found what appeared to be the draft of a speech that was designed primarily to, it appears, incite people to rising up against the current government.
Do you know who the speech was drafted for? Do you remember?
We
Like,
do
who the
not.
speaker?
Okay.
As I recall too, in one of those letters, it talked about that mage that we had spoke to earlier. That when we were in that thing, and I do believe, even though
Okay.
I was not the person that read this or anything, but I remember it because it's in my notes, that it was him that was implicated, that he's kind of the one that's turning a lot of the stuff in the Underdark and causing all this tumult. So we thought he was a good guy, but he's actually a bad guy. So yeah.
That would be Kopeth that you have that
Okay.
marked down as. Yeah.
Yeah, and wait,
Yep,
question. So
there he is.
Hollis, who is the one that hired us again?
Mentrier.
Mentrier, right? So in the letters, we had letters between Hollis and the Loth worshippers.
Yeah, so you found in the correspondence that I referenced just now, there are several referenced lords. You can tell from the nature of the correspondence that it's my lands, my troops. You can pick up quite easily that they are lords from the overworld, not from the Underdark. But unfortunately, they're not identifying themselves. Instead, they use basically animal or other signets to try and hide their identity in the correspondence. Perhaps they're, concerned about it being intercepted and used against them.
All right, so We have letters though between Lolth worshippers and Hollis that made us think that maybe
And
Hollis
the
is up to
transportation
something.
documents very much reflect military shipments back and forth. That very much from way back in the day when you guys went into the mines and found shipments to the kobolds that had that were from Valorsfall, like some of their weapons going back and forth. So you found military shipment proofs and you grabbed the sigil at that point, but now you have like kind of the official records behind it to support that these guys are sending troops and money and other weapons back and forth to each other to
And then
to
I have like
assist.
a note here that says Lolth worshippers don't like Kopeth. He is a higher up council person and was an obstacle for their group.
Yep. Though you now have conflicting information because Kopeth is implicated as somebody who was working on that.
With the council.
Correct.
And the council was the one that, with them, the council was the one that didn't want to trade with the overworld, or was the council the one that did want to expand into working with
So
the
the
overworld?
current council works with the overworld and is pretty happy with this arrangement, which is a little bit ironic that they are being attacked by some of the overworld people, and it seems to be like the enemy of my enemy situation. The people that want to overthrow the government in Dweller's Den want to do so to kind of close it back up and make it, you know, make it for the Underdark denizens only.
And the Dweller's Den is the Underdark, right?
Correct. It's the city you're in right now.
So there are some people who want more isolationism and not to trade with.
Yep.
Okay.
And ironically, it's those people that are getting weapons from the surface in order to try and make this happen.
They're always the hypocrisy. But okay. Cool. Well, yes. And we haven't read all of it, Matthew, is what you're saying? Like, we haven't actually taken the time to read the full speech and the letters
believe
and all that.
Ratscratch did, but nobody else has.
And you can look through it now as you want to. I'm not trying to say that there's more to decipher. It's just a lot of it's maybe not as pertinent or in code, but there's enough there that it's pretty strong evidence that this battle on the surface had been planned, that there is lots of communication about where to put troops and when to make movements. It's very much planning a coup 101. So you have records now to support what you came down for.
Which is that Hollis is the one who is.
Hollis and potentially others.
Yep. Okay. So the speech itself, like, I'll just ask Ratscratch, was there anything significant about the speech, or was it just like blah, 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 blah? Like, was there any interesting? Because I understand that correspondences would be coded, but I would think that a speech is going to be more like you say what you mean because you're trying to, like, I don't know, you might have some secret messages in the speech, but like, what's the whole point of the speech? We don't know who it was for, right? We don't know who's going to say it.
I presume this is really directed at me. No, you don't know who it was drafted to speak that speech, but it is like, kind of populist, fire up the, like, we've been trod on too long by those on the surface, that sort of rhetoric.
So it's
and
like
the
Dweller's
council,
Den.
encouraging the residents of Dweller's Den to rise up and take back over the city itself.
And is there anything in it that would suggest who the speaker might have been? Like, what if it, like, if the speaker of that, for that speech was, what's his face, Kopeth, then that would more support the position that he's not liked by the council. If it's,
He's a member of the council, just to be extra clear.
Yeah, but if the speech was like written for Kopeth, like it's apparent that Kopeth was the speaker, then that could suggest that he's like two-timing the council to help the Dweller's Den cause. Which is interesting, right? Because Kopeth was also like up in the surface, right?
He was. That's where you first met him.
So if he hates the surface and he's up in the surface trying to, So is there anything in the speech that would suggest it's Kopeth, or the speaker is someone whose history, when they talk about their life or whatever?
Why don't you make an intelligence check as you kind of look over the speech to see if you can decipher who the speaker might be or who it might be designed for.
Okay, hold on.
Just don't know if we know enough about any of these people to really like decipher the words to figure out who they are, right? We've only met them once.
I
you
would
know.
agree with you. That's why it would have to be like a specific person. Like if it was Kopeth, it
I,
might make more
Kopeth,
sense.
hereby decree.
Yeah, that's where it would be like, sure,
Well, no,
sure, totally.
if in this speech he's like, oh, I've been with the surface dwellers for long, and they definitely suck ass in the council.
Go ahead
Like,
and give me an
blah blah
intelligence check.
blah.
See
But
if
Thank
you
you,
can
anyway,
figure this out.
people of Dwellers Den. Peace out, Kopeth.
yeah. I mean, it'd be
Mic
cute
drop,
if he was
mic drop.
like, Kopeth in the house. Can we guess? Anyway. So hold on. I rolled a 16, but let me check my modifier, which I don't think is much.
-1.
Shut up. You don't know me. It's +1. 17.
Okay. You can tell that it's sort of a generic style speech. In fact, maybe this is going to be turned into a poster or something else that's kind of distributed among the masses, or may have already done so. You don't actually know the answer to that.
Classic.
You do see in it, though, the implication, and this is where it came from in the notes, that Kopeth is the one supporting it.
And it's like pro Dweller's Den propaganda.
It's very much propaganda and very much indicates that Kopeth is the one supporting the propaganda.
Okay.
He's two-timing everybody. That's what's
He's
happening.
playing all sides. He's just a
Well, I think he's manipulating one side to get what he wants on this side, right? Like
he's an
that's
opportunist. But you might be right.
probably a
Wouda.
little bit more dark than that if he's in with these spider people, right? Like,
That's true. Boopies. Okay. Well, I mean, I'll be apprehensive of Hollis, but otherwise I think I'm okay with making my way uptown, walking fast.
Yeah, let's do it.
the only problem is the entire keep is looking for us right now. So
That is a
That's
bit of a
true.
problem.
Pretty standard for us at this point, though. I mean,
Kyle's like comes out of drinking like, yeah, what else is new?
Well, when Kaydren says something like that, that's a good point. Do you like have a way to disguise ourselves or seem I don't know, less killable?
I can make some of us invisible.
because
Or a
that always
minute.
works out well.
And
Hey,
just to be extra
hold
clear, there are 26 of you.
Oh my god, you're right.
Yeah, we're gonna be congaing all the way up to the top here.
Hopefully not
Religious-
actually. Again,
No, actually,
Religious
Actually, no,
children.
actually, seriously, let's just get as much alcohol as we can and just form a conga line to the top. I think
No
the
one will
guards
notice
will be
us.
too caught off guard to notice.
I mean, then
Why
we'll
do
just get
people follow
arrested for
you?
something totally different, which will be causing a ruckus or doing a conga line, which should just be illegal generally.
No,
unexpected position from Yasi that
No
conga line should
kidding.
be illegal generally.
no
I
kidding.
mean,
the people of the forest are very anti-conga.
yeah, it's
People of the forest will not stand for this outrage.
we don't support this conga danda. That's supposed to be propaganda.
Conga danda.
It sounds so
Ugh.
weird. I don't like it. I
Ugh.
want a conga ganda. Sounds like a disease. I got the conga ganda. Anywho.
Enthusiastic.
Wait,
no,
we have, like,
we're not there.
We have like a high level mage with us, right? Like
You
Which we
do.
gotta-
You do have a high level mage with you.
wait, but if we have a magical spell that kind of illusionizes us, won't that artifact just be like pew 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 pew?
If the artifact is near it, yes.
Yeah.
Wait, is it only
I
when
will
we
continue
activate
to
the
hoist
spell?
the artifact.
And
Actually,
reminder that the artifact is in a sort
Yeah.
of crystalline container. It was on top of it, protecting it on its pedestal, and you guys kind of flipped it upside down and put the artifact at the bottom.
Does the artifact's like effect only take place when you activate a spell? Like if it's a durational spell, will it just like constantly be like pinging off?
You haven't really tested that.
How long does it take us to get to the surface if we were to just go?
2 days.
it took us several days to get down here.
Well,
But we
okay,
we
hold on.
made
Do
some
you mean-
pit
way.
stops.
Do you mean the
we-
surface as in The surface, or do you
No,
mean
just like where
This-
there was just
this
like
street
far
area.
less going on.
Wait, people. That when Ratscratch asked, I'm like, wait, I found a secret access to the surface that
Oh
can
yeah,
get us there quickly. I totally forgot. I
I
don't think you
remember
guys know
that.
about this.
What?
You didn't tell
What
us.
are you
No.
talking about?
Oh my! I'm just like, okay. So
Oh,
Yeah,
dude.
she actually did.
No, I
No, I was
know.
like-
No.
Yep.
Yeah.
no, Kaydren's role playing.
I remember. It's just funny. I have to say it in character because, like, wait.
Yes.
What are
Yeah,
you
Kaydren's
talking
she
about?
did all of this and
I'm
then
like,
told
oh my God.
no one about it.
This is
I'm like,
true.
okay. And so then I'm like,
times
hey
where
guys,
you died
remember?
or
No, yeah. So yeah, when Ratscratch told y'all died. When Ratscratch told y'all I died, I actually found a secret passage up to the surface. Remember, there's like that
What?
dude, and he was like super into me.
drinking without me.
No, but like,
I like-
no. There was that guy, and he was like super into me, and he like was like really into me, and he like was like trying to.
We weren't
like,
there for that.
No, we were at the bar, and he was hitting
We
on
all
me.
left. I don't think we
Damn,
stuck
y'all
around for
left
that.
me
We
with
all
a
left.
like. Y'all left me with like a predatory
We went
dude.
you a lot.
Yes,
It
we
happened.
did.
I think
Do you
we
guys
tried
even
to
And I
like
was-
me?
I was
single-
actually
No, yeah,
legitimately.
you didn't-
We all left.
And I was
He did
actually
not
legitimately
approach you
concerned.
until after we had left.
Yep.
Like he
Oh.
waited until we left.
Oh, y'all were
and
killing
then
my
he came over.
We were walking
vibe.
down the thing. We're like, "Hey, Yasi, we're leaving." You're like, "I'm gonna stay and hit on this dude." And we're like, "Okay, we're going." And so we
No,
walked down the
no.
thing.
Mama's
Yeah,
got to
I
have
remember
some
now.
action.
This
Thanks,
guy
That's
was-
why we thought
bye.
you were dead.
Yes.
Okay, so what happened then was a guy was interested in me, but y'all were killing my vibe. So after y'all left, he actually approached me, and we had like a conversation. I don't remember. I think he was like, "You're really pretty." I don't remember, but he left and he gave me like sketch vibes. So I ended up following him, and I followed him to a place called.
I remember this because
Oh,
I followed
I
you
got a
too.
letter. I got a letter from this guy, Lind, the trader.
And then I
Not
lost you.
traitor, but trader. And he said, "Oh, go find Yuri and tell Yuri. Tell him Yuri sent me." I don't know. And so I ended up going to this like, what was it, Matthew?
Tell him
Remind
Jory
me.
sent me.
Yuri sent me. Oh, I went to the coin.
Yes. Where we also were.
Y'all were there?
Yeah. Ratscratch ended up getting like a special thing and got like a boatload of money.
Oh, you're right. I found you guys because I just got there a lot faster by flying down because of beast shaping. Okay, and then I got
You almost
there.
got
and
killed too, as I recall, which was
Oh yeah,
funnier,
someone
but I
was
never
like,
saw it.
shoot. So I was like, oh, it's a bird. I don't know. The first thing I'll do is shoot at it. Fucking people in the Underdark are crazy.
They've never seen birds.
They don't like
In the
owls very
Underdark.
much. Just
They
saying.
either want to marry me or they want to shoot me down. It's crazy. This place is crazy. But so like I don't know what y'all were up to, but I was being useful and I like snuck into a back room because I was looking for that dude because I don't think I ever got his number or he got my number or whatever it was. But
His name is Beldine.
Mhm.
well, I don't think he ever shared that
Ian.
with me.
He did.
Well,
In your defense,
Oh,
according to
damn.
my notes, the session date was February 25th,
and clearly
2022.
he did not
Yep.
leave an impression. Either way, I was like trying to figure out what he was up to because he was super shady, and I didn't want him to be like up to some weirdness. And I followed him into this room where I just lost track of him, and I was wondering if he went up this device, and I got in the device, and then it took me up to the surface. So all we have to do is take the elevator, baby. You know I hate an incline.
I'm gonna insight check because this sounds too fantastical to even be
Uh,
real.
Amazing. Go ahead.
17 plus
so
7.
Yasi
Yasi
actually
is
did
so
die.
honest. It's
24.
amazing.
Yasi,
Imposter
I'm a
Yasi.
sweet, honest baby. Wouldn't lie to my
okay.
party. Unless it was Ratscratch.
Yeah, I think you need to do a persuasion check here, Yasi.
Persuasion.
Yeah, because
I'm
is
not
she
even
like is she on
lying.
drugs?
That's
You're
why it's
not
not
lying.
deception.
Yeah, if you were lying, it would be deception. But you're trying to persuade the group of the thing
Oh
that you saw.
no, I'm not persuasive.
Mhm.
We know.
We know that. Yeah.
Oh no.
We've met.
Yeah.
Can I use
Oh,
an inspiration?
Oh, no.
If you have one, you could definitely use
Oh
it,
no,
but
my
yeah.
Can I use
well-crafted
an
character flaw. Oh
inspiration?
no.
Oh,
No.
How many inspirations do
When
I
that
have?
happens.
Oh, Mr. Bill, no.
God, this is like when I'm playing Baldur's Gate and I'm like, motherfuck, reroll.
I am flawed. Oh shit.
advantage.
9.
This reminds me of the time that we tried to play hardcore Baldur's Gate 3, and
Wait,
you killed
hold
us
on.
in the first 5 minutes, and then said, "Where do we reload?" And we had to explain to you that you don't get to
Can't.
do that.
All
It's
right,
not a
hold on
thing.
though. Can I tell that Kaydren is like skeptical of my very true story?
I think it's all
What-
over his
What
face.
did you roll in your persuasion? Yeah, he's
I
definitely
was gonna
looking
be
at
like,
you.
Insight check.
because if he seems
DC
skeptical,
5.
can I be like, you have to trust me, Kaydren? I give him my biggest, freshest piece of hardtack. As like, would I just give that away? Unless I like,
Historically, yeah,
Yeah,
you
no,
you
no,
have.
right now, yeah.
because
Get
I rolled a
giant
9.
buffet off of the table
You
that
rolled
was
a
in the
9?
yeah,
And
the
what
But he
building.
rolled, but he
modifiers
rolled
do you
really
have?
high inside 0.
9, flat 9 to
But
persuade.
Kaydren's insight is good, so he should bypass my failure to convince him because he could see it in my heart. He
You
could see
know
through the
things are
windows of my
bad
soul.
when you're trying to argue extras with the DM of things to do.
Yasi, is
Kaydren.
the elevator in the room with us right now?
Kaydren.
Oh, come on.
Can you
Okay.
hear the music?
Is it the device that you saw? Yeah. Is it?
Is it here? Is
The
it here?
window, the eyes are the window to the soul, and
It's
he
right
rolled like
behind
a
me, isn't it?
27. He is
You
seeing
have
a
deep
soul?
into my soul.
You are very, very sure that Yasi believes she's telling the truth.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
This is
You're
the most
not sure.
truthful
You're
story I've
not,
ever heard from somebody.
you're not sure what actually happened, but you are certain she's not lying about the event. That you rolled very, very well. So she is straight telling you what she believes to be the
He
truth.
believes it's true.
I
And as a
don't
person
eat-
that tells stories like I do, I also believe stories are true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
you
I
good
don't
now.
do
Okay, so that gives
hallucinogenic
you that-
mushrooms. I only eat hardtack, so you know I didn't trip it out. I'm just saying.
Mm.
It's real.
But what did
do not accept
Ballsack
the hardtack only
give
because I
you?
just ate.
What did
No
Ballsack
need.
give you at the bar? I mean, he could have
His name is Beldine.
Ballsack.
Oh.
No, I don't know if that was a trick to see if I would admit that his name was Ballsack. Because then they'd be like, well, then you just called him Beldine. I'm like, no! It was Beldine. You won't trick me, you fucking trickster. You spawn of...
Man, did you ever get hostile in a hurry?
Yeah.
This group you're trying to convince.
Well,
So
Yeah.
hostile.
trying
It's
to
almost like
believe
you're
me.
lying.
Kaydren's trying to
Trying
believe
to
me,
believe
and
me.
Ratscratch is like trying to like fact check me by throwing a fake name out to see if I fumble on it. It's like, well, 10 minutes ago you said his name was Beldine, and now you're saying it's Ballsack, and I don't want to fall for
Did you
it.
just pull a you promised no fact checking?
Yeah,
We fired the fact
I
checker.
was told no one would fact check me, and I wouldn't care if they did because this is the truth, the God honest truth. I swear on my circle of shepherd.
Oh my.
Oh wow.
I swear on the Lord of Hardtack,
Whoa.
which is probably me, to be completely honest. I put my hand on Ratscratch's 10 commandments. I say, swear on these.
They haven't been etched in stone yet, so
Swear to me.
Well, I put my hand
It's
on
just
the
a piece of paper
version.
right now.
I put my hand on the mage hand as it transcribes.
Oh, Sanctus Heart Tactus.
Hold my hand, mage hand scribe. So he believes me, right? We're gonna go. We're gonna go to the coin.
Attacked.
I'm having a hard tack attack.
The story sounds interesting. It
fantastical
might
even.
be something. The question is it easier to go to the surface or break into the coin, find this machine that can teleport us to the surface?
Yes.
Pretty
I
sure I'd
broke
rather
in.
just dart from house to house and make my way up, but
Man,
that's
have
just
you
me.
gone up an incline like it does to your legs? It's awful. My
It's good
God.
cardio.
Have you walked
You
up
gotta
a
work off
20%
that hard tack.
grade? Man.
Hold up the one coin that I have. Actually, I can get us into the coin still.
That's
It's
if
a
the
sign.
researchers haven't locked everything down.
It's a sign,
True.
but he's got a coin.
So
don't-
a little
So,
bit of an editor's note
28
here.
of us getting into the coin.
So remember that the coin is not a singular place. It
It's
is a place that is essentially the banking system of the Underdark. The coin that you visited was on the road up, but there you are aware that the town that you're in also has a coin establishment. You saw the
Maybe
big
they
coin
all
above the
have
door.
one.
So, and you're aware that they exist in multiple places, and that the coin that Wudao, remember the orcs explain this,
Mm-hmm.
they're essentially like your pass to say, this is what I have saved or stored with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm using the right passphrase and showing the right coin. Now I can access my account, for lack of a better word, and get whatever I've stored with you. And
I
so
couldn't remember if they took us into like a lockbox area or not.
there are areas in the back, but the time that you went in, you went into the establishment, and there was kind of like a couple of people sitting up front, and you kind of transacted with them. They went in the back and they retrieved it for you. You know, you guys don't really know this, but your resident druid, while wild shaped, went into the back and saw, you know, kind of the storage rooms and everything back there, along with the things she just very inaccurately described to you.
It was very accurate.
It was not even close.
The most
You weren't
accurate.
there.
It was actually, I believe,
That
if I
is
recall,
untrue.
you found an archway and walked through it. I forget how exactly you activated it, but you ended up walking out through the archway into another place. But we don't know if every coin has that. We don't know. I mean, again, this is me talking in out of my character's thing, but like we just we can't count on that to be a thing, right? The only way we could do it is to go to that coin, break into that coin, get into that back room, and then remember how we did that thing. Or make our way up to the surface just the regular way, which seems way easier to me at this point.
We just got to get
So
past.
while I believe you, Yasi,
people.
in terms of like what you're talking about, I don't think that's going to be the easiest way out.
At least you believe.
And as a reminder, Yasi, for you, in case, you know, or for you, Neralius, the player, you saw that human from the surface come through what was a circle on the ground, and then you stepped into where he was and flashed back up into the keep at Valorsfall. So it appears to be some sort of gateway or teleportation circle that you interacted with previously, and then you came back through it. So
I tell them all of that.
okay.
I still don't know if that's worth it. Again, we would have to go into the coin and then get into the back room.
How many people did you see along the way while you were in the coin? How many did you sneak past? Keep in mind, we are trailing 20 plus.
We have to take all. Wait, do your followers even want to go to the surface? Like, have they seen sunlight? Will it burn their retinas? Like, is this really good for them?
The flock
Maybe
follows.
you should start a home base here. You know, to spread
Friends,
the word.
kin,
Friends.
listen not to those words.
You're gonna get killed by the end of this. Friggin' adventure day.
What would you like to do? And then he's out here just like absolutely like screwing
I
them.
mean, it is possible that we could hide amongst your flock as we go up.
Absolutely.
If you're looking again, I don't know if. I mean, how if we're looking at they just got fresh clothes though out of this place.
Question to the flock.
Hold on for that thought, Zach, but I'll listen to this question first.
What were they detained for? I ask in the most sincerest way possible to the flock to determine how sticky outy they would be around the city.
You hear various answers back and forth. It appears the majority of them were detained for financial reasons.
Okay.
Or for being too nosy into what the researchers were doing, or just speaking out against them and their ways. There are some that appeared to be lawbreakers in the sense of they broke the laws about reporting the glyphs to the researchers. Remember,
Sure.
that's how you first interacted with them, is they were really focused on the original builders' glyphs, and they want more information. And those are valuable things. Like, you remember the Rock Tavern had one that heated the food and stuff. So like, people aren't necessarily jumping over themselves to give those things to the researchers. And so some of them appear to be, lawbreakers in the sense that they failed to comply with these new laws that
Okay.
are in the city.
So none with like severe notoriety. If they were to just wear a cowl, they would be able to blend in.
None that tell you about that, at least.
Okay. At least not that I get the impression of. All right. Yeah.
Kaydren, you asked whether they had gotten new clothes here or not. Wudao, while searching the room last time, noticed that there were new weapons in the room that appeared to be a fairly standard thing, as well as what appeared to be military tabards or uniforms that had appeared. But no new clothes, per se.
Yeah, that's right. It was all military stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get
Well,
some.
that doesn't help everybody blend in.
No, we're gonna have to get some clothes. We're still. We've made it up to that church area, right? Have we gotten out of the sewers?
Was going to be overrun the next day because Chesfa said that the
shit.
researchers were going to be there soon. So we can't go to that church, remember?
Didn't
She
we?
said that it was going to get overrun basically once we
Yeah.
left.
Okay.
Because
Isn't that
they
how
were
we?
gonna
Oh
be
no.
looking
Okay.
for her.
We kind of crossed the street and went down into a sewer area.
That's when we
yeah.
came down here, basically, as we
Yep.
left that
And
church.
you know that there are many ways back up to the surface, so you
Yep.
don't have to go back up that way.
Well, we
they're
know the
very
way-
functional of a sewer system.
We know the
so.
back way to get pretty much up pretty far where we
That is
went
true.
when we went with the orcs, right? So
Yep.
we need to go,
That is true.
as I recall, we have to go down into the slum area, right? And then we cross that one bridge and then we get into the back of the crystal area and then we walk up through that crystalline area to
So once you get out of town, remember there's so if you remember, there's like a wide basin.
Yes.
And the city of Dweller's Den is in the middle of that basin, and there's a huge waterfall coming down from the ceiling, which is where the river outside of Valorsfall basically drains down, and it's what made them build the city right there. And basically all around in the basin is farmland and other things, which is very rare in the Underdark. And probably why they're so open to trading with the surface is they're kind of the in-between world. And then along the outside, because it's about a day's walk from the center in Dweller's Den to the edges to start the road to wind your way up, there are, in addition to the farm fields, there are a couple little villages that are like dotted along the way that are mainly farmers. And if you guys remember, you stopped in one and you ran into the party from the surface, and there was like there was some undead, and you had like this kind of big battle that played out there. And you saved the town, and you actually activated one of the runes that kind of repopulated the things. Yasi talked to horses for a good while in the stables, if you remember.
Yep.
So you're aware that once you're outside of the city, things get a lot less populous. You're basically in the equivalent of the overworld, like walking through the farm fields with rural villages until you get over to that road that winds up. You're right about the crystals. Those are along the ceiling. And the interesting thing about them, along the ceiling and that one area that you fought the orcs in,
Right.
is that those are the light storing crystals and what gives this area a day-night cycle, which is again another weird thing to have in the Underdark. So
I thought that was like more of like a back path though. Like it was like a path that broke off and went out further than the road normally did, right?
Yeah, so that you have the winding path going up. And then you have along the surface, or along the ceiling, you've got the crystals. But at one corner of the wind, there was like basically people being like, take the elevator down. Don't walk the full path because the crystals have kind of come down and it's dangerous in there. And you guys are like, oh, this elevator seems more dangerous. And you got tipped off not to do that. So you walked through that crystalline area. So you're correctly remembering that there is like a
side path
pathway point, which is kind of near the top because it's where that crystal kind of came down a little bit. And that was basically an ambush point over and over again. And that's where you ran into those orcs that you got the coin from originally. So good memory there. And that's kind of how it plays out. So if you were able to get outside of the city limits, things might change in terms of like the number of people around and give you additional options or not. So that's, I just wanted to clarify that for you guys in case you forgot.
I was going to say, Ratscratch, we could always tell some of your flock to, once we get out of these sewers, to kind of disperse and meet at that town that we met in, then they can all go their ways. We can get there ourselves and meet up with the rest of the group there.
We could,
Right.
and we
Because if
could
they split into smaller groups of like 4, maybe 5,
stick
then
together
it's
and
not
work
a
their
full
way. Yeah,
30 people walking down a thoroughfare, right?
that makes
It's
sense.
4 or 5 groups going kind of different, their own way to make it to that town. So
I like that.
I don't know if they'll all make it though. That's the thing. But at least most of them would make it, I'm sure.
The path may be dangerous, yes. I say to the flock.
Remember your commandment.
Remember.
You're
We
mute.
do have a ruse that we could use to get us potentially through, because we had discussed, if you remember, kind of with the artifact, disguising it as something that we're moving and playing as those movers that we had saw on the road before, because they were using orcs to move heavy things, you know. So I mean, that's potentially a cover, but it wouldn't cover like 20 people. But it would probably be good enough for like our group to act as couriers, right? But
Choices.
Well then,
Damn, if only Jark was here, he could flip
yeah.
us some papers or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot. Shucks.
they
Darn,
did have.
even.
It was a goblin that was running the business too. That probably would have been pretty convenient.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, those were halflings, if you remember, because they had the
Oh,
half
yeah, I thought they
price.
were
Mhm.
goblins. Oh, okay. Well, then there you go.
One of those.
We got one of them.
Just the one though.
I mean, that's fine.
That's all we need.
Up to you guys how you want to play it out.
All right,
I'm
let's do
trying
that.
to give you the options here.
Let's get out of the sewers slowly. I could even cast some invisibility so we can kind of peek and wander around, like sort of canvass the general vicinity, and see if it's busy, or if we can kind of sneak our way back to those caverns, weasel our way back up through the caverns, and skedaddle. I am going to turn to my flock.
Okay.
And I'm going to friends, kin of the heart, if not of the feather, we gather today not as the fallen, but as those who rise and those who remember. Once there were those who sought to cage the wind. They thought it could be stilled, silence made their own, but wind cannot be tamed. It finds cracks in the stone, it bends trees, and yes, it breaks walls. We have been told to stay small, to bow, to whisper, but a whisper, when joined by others, becomes a gale. Do you feel it? Do you hear it? The song of the rising storm, that is the song of us all, the song of those who will no longer kneel, of those who will stand. We do not seek vengeance. No, our song is not one of hatred, but of freedom, of dignity. When one feather rises, another follows, until the sky itself darkens with the shadow of hope. Will you be the wind at my back, the voice in the storm, the echo that will never fade? Will you help me and us to leave this city, following us?
Make a persuasion check.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll let you make it at advantage.
Persuasion. Motherfucking persuasion. 21.
There's a chorus of "The bird is the word."
Yeah, I thought there was going to be like a light.
Caw.
No, there's kind of some enthusiasm, and in fact, one of your flock picks up one of the military uniforms and is like, "When do we wear these?" And-
What is your name, sir?
And as you look over at him, you, for the first time, peer a little closer at this stark white uniform with, on its chest, a single black wing showing.
Ooh. I like it.
These are just commoners, my dude.
No.
Not
No.
anymore.
Let them fight.
Now
Oh,
they're
God.
zealots.
Now they're zealots. Yay!
Sir, I'm Mr. Hammersblow.
Mr. Hammersblow.
Hammers do below. I'm more of a sword man myself.
he looks at you, kind of raises an eyebrow, and he's like, "It's a blacksmith hammer, surface dweller. I can make you a sword if you'd like."
I just got my warhammer. It's good.
I can't believe this guy tells you his name, and you go, "Hammers do blow."
Hammers do blow.
I use a
dick.
warhammer.
What a dick.
Mr. Hammersblow. When you fell, did you not hear the wind? Did you not hear the song? You knew it existed. Your fire has not been quenched. It burns brighter now. I can see it. And together, you and the rest of this flock, we are becoming an inferno. Wear that uniform with pride. That's all I got.
He puts it on, and without asking you, also picks up what appears to be a short sword.
Fantastic. Fantastic. This is
The rest of the flock look at you kind of quizzically.
Hmm.
They do that like, are we supposed to also put that on?
No. For I need some of you to be voices. Secret. Leave the commandments of the bird around. Gain others. Lead them to the surface, or grow here. I'll be back.
They kind of nod and start to, follow you, follow your earlier laid out plan.
Yep.
To, talk amongst themselves. They find little groups. They start to come up with little stories on their own. They, where did you live in town? Is there, do you know any good ways up? That sort of thing. They appear to be plotting to try and, figure out various ways to escape that are not the same for all of them. Not very many of them look afraid. They seem to be grateful for something to latch onto.
Hell yeah. That's right.
You get the impression that it's not entirely healthy.
No, probably not.
Now that
Let's
we
go.
have this additional group with us, can I propose a question? Does anybody know an easier way out of this city in this area?
If I may, as the bodyguard of Mr. Scratch, I would be happy to propose several ways out. And Mr. Scratch, if I could, anything I could carry for you or do for you, please let me know.
Oh, we'll do, but
He's polishing his uniform now.
you serve wonderfully.
Isn't it Saint Scratch or, Blessed Scratch or...
Mr. Scratch is fine.
Okay.
We
So
amongst the flock
humble.
will all treat each other well.
Shaman Scratch?
Such a humble leader they have in Ratscratch.
Tribal leader Scratch?
Rival leader Scratch.
Saint Scratches.
If I may, sir, the river here flows out of town, and the sewer flows into it. You could simply walk out through the sewers if you follow the water.
How do we get up from there?
Follow the river.
Follow the river.
It goes
Yep.
up? Oh, I see.
As rivers
River.
usually do.
Yeah. I guess you have to go the up, instead of trying to find the water, which brings you to the, Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that takes
I'll
us
have to
to
do
a
an
place.
incline. My legs ache at the thought of it, but whatever. I'll
Just
turn into
watching
an animal.
Neurali considering splitting the party. You can literally fly.
Yeah,
from
it's
just
really
saying.
easy. It's a thing that you can do. You turned
I
into a
just said I would turn
flying
into
cat.
like a little I'm gonna turn into a salmon, and I'm gonna go up the river.
Oh, that's
Oh,
good for you. That's a
you're
bad
in the
idea.
sewers.
Oh, you said there's a river.
Oh, poop water!
Can I
That's
still
a you
salmon up
plan.
Anyway.
like the salmon do?
All right,
during-
all right, Carryman, let's grab this box. What is
Absolutely.
Thalrin gonna do? Is he just like hanging out? What's his plan? He's gonna chill out with us?
Thalrin is, remember, he's got a notebook that Yasi tried to pilfer last week.
Yes.
Oh, Wudao, Josh, you're on mute.
He's been weirdly standing over my shoulder the whole time I've been holding this.
Like,
yeah, right. And he's just like looking in the box.
He's not. Remember, he's not malicious. You guys have several times. You're like, "Is this guy
know,
about to
but he's
fucking
like-
No,
murder
he's
us?"
just a
in
creeper
box?
about
No.
this siphon, man.
Everyone
He's
has
just
malicious
reading
in
on
our
that.
head.
You guys
Okay.
are talking, and he's just like making notes. Appears to be like doing dimensions. Like he's very just like, what is it doing? What's going on? And he's not even in the room with you guys primarily because he's out with the artifacts. So
No, Wudao has
I
it
would.
now.
I was gonna ask.
he's
He
outside.
wasn't even looking at anywhere like in this place, was he? At the start, like he didn't give a shit about him being in this magical room with all this dwarven information and all these notes and magic
yeah,
books.
that's a good question. But he doesn't seem particularly. You get the sense of like somebody who has become obsessed with their work and their one thing. It's like
Tunnel vision.
somebody doing their PhD or somebody like that, where they've got one subject, he's hyper focused on it, and until he figures out how he can unlock its secrets, that's all he really cares about
I mean,
right
you
now.
see one magic room, you've seen them all.
That's right. That's right.
Sure.
This is
go
a
ahead.
very special room, so that was a very good question to ask. But he's just so, and I think perhaps because the item appears to be damaged, that like now he's like twice as involved with like, how do I fix it? Can I do it safely? Like he's just so hyper focused on this, not in a malicious or bad way, but in a way that is like, I'm not really paying attention to the other things
So,
happening around me.
Valorin, have you made any insightful investigations or inspections of the siphon? Is what we don't even know if something is wrong with it now, because we removed the entity that was stuck in there that was kind of jibber jabbering the whole thing, and now it's acting this way instead of the way it was before. Is this how
That
it's
is it.
supposed to be acting?
He just lights up. Whoa, what an excellent observation, Mr. Kaydren. Why, I believe you're correct, but the item, perhaps that entity was trapped in there well before I introduced it, so all of my previous notes on the subject are just maybe plain wrong. I don't know what the item is supposed to do originally, if it's working as it's supposed to, or if it's now
So
broken.
it wasn't
being so-
unstable. It was stable. Was doing the thing it was before, but now it is being unstable. Are you sure that
Well-
there doesn't need to be another entity like introduced into this thing?
Oh, wow, that's a fascinating idea. Would you like to get inside and we can experiment with it?
I kind of move the artifact. towards Chuck.
Probably not the best idea.
Just slowly turn. He's just so as you ask him, kind of go back and forth a little bit on that, but he doesn't seem to have any real information for you. But he's taking a lot of detailed notes. He seems especially interested in when it interacts with other magical items. That's his like, what's going on with that? What's that doing? So he seems very like he's documenting a lot of those interactions, and he's trying to, is this an intended behavior or an unintended behavior? He's very because that's new. It's a new thing in this thing that he studied for years. So
That's why I was wondering if he had made any observations through the time that we've now had it over the evening of observing and that sort of thing. So, okay.
Yep, nothing in particular.
Well, I guess it's time to go because we need to start getting moving. So we're gonna follow the river once we get out of this sewer, and then follow the river out.
You follow the sewer to the river, which will lead you out of the city, basically.
Yep. I like that plan.
Excellent.
Okay.
If we stay low and hidden, Ratscratch, if we're going to be doing the Heidi not getting seen thing, I might need some invisibility because I'm not the best Heidi or unseen individual.
Anybody
I
else?
also passed without trace.
That will also help
Sprinkle that shit.
greatly.
We have to stay close.
Yes.
I cast invisibility on Kaydren and Wudao.
Wait, Ratscratch.
Wait, before
Let's walk over here first. Now cast invisibility on me.
Oh, yes. I cast invisibility
I
on
was getting my dice back out, so well done.
on Kaydren and Wudao.
Huh?
Would you like
He's
to?
gonna be
Oh
holding
shit!
it,
You're
so
holding
I
that. Never
don't
mind.
know if you wanna do that.
I cast invisibility on Kaydren and Calla. Hi, Calla.
I'm pretty sneaky, but
Okay,
You could cast it on me, and then I can cast.
you can
Pass
fly.
Without
Who
Trace.
cares?
Called for Calla, and she's actually standing right next to you.
Yeah,
She's
pretty
just
much. Hey,
like,
Calla.
because
Oh
she's so
shit.
sure.
like, hey,
Hey.
Him in
Oh
the
hey.
shin.
Hey.
hi.
Hi.
In your feathers.
No,
like,
you are sneaky. Never mind.
Ratscratch,
I just cast
your
him.
party size is 7.
Mm-hmm.
The 5 of you, Dalren, and your new bodyguard, who is very much intently coming with you.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
You can make him invisible.
Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Hammer's blow.
Yes,
How
sir.
long is it?
Are you amenable to being invisible?
What is the word of the bird?
The bird is the word, and the bird would.
He nods very knowingly to that.
The bird can be sneaky and deceiving at times, and that is okay. And I cast invisibility on Kaydren and Mr. Hammer's blow. It is concentration for 1 hour.
Okay. And as you guys move out into
Wait, hold
the
on.
sewers,
Before we get close
yes.
before I get close to the artifact, I'll also cast pass without trace on myself, which
gives you
creates,
the aura around you.
and
Yep.
it's 30 feet. So
Yep. This is not the first time you guys have used that, so you're kind of aware as a party how that plays out. Wudao, Dalren's going to stick very close to you.
Let all the other flock know. Just stay close to the weird.
So the rest of the flock are splitting up and heading up
they're already
into
leaving.
the city.
Okay.
Yeah, they're doing that earlier plan. They're splitting into groups of 4.
Gotcha.
They're not doing all the same plan, but some of them are like, oh, we can go out this way, and so this is their city, so they know it a little bit better, and so they're more comfortable with like ways to get out. They may not all be successful, but they're at least they're not fearing the storm, and they're out to go meet Ratscratch.
Indeed.
By the way, you said to just meet up at a village, so I just assume you mean the only other village you know.
Yeah.
So they're going to meet at D-Spine, which, if you remember, is extremely friendly to you since you've essentially saved the town twice over.
For sure.
Okay. Well, I think this is a great stopping point. You guys, 3 sessions later, have left the room, so I'm proud of you. When we will explore our way out of the city the next time we play, which I hope is next week Wednesday.
Wednesday, I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah. Should be fine.
Sarah, are you going to be here or Atlanta?
Here, as far as I know, and also too soon.
I only asked that because I listened to the session last time, and we were like, we're all definitely playing next week, and Sarah was in Atlanta the following week, so that was the joke there.
Too soon. Still way too soon.
Hit me with that joke. Sorry.
Sorry.
God damn it, Carl.
All right.
By the way, Ryan, I listened to that whole.
Oh, wasn't that amazing, Sarah? I gotta link that to you, Sarah. Sorry.
Zach and Josh, if you guys have not started the audiobook for Dungeon Crawler Carl, you got to do that right away.
Yeah, I got through the whole series of works of what's out so far, so I'm waiting on the next book.
No spoilers. I'm still in book 6.
Yeah,
that's all I do at work. Is I deliver mail and listen to audiobooks. So.
So you already knew Dungeon Crawler Carl and all of it?
No, you told me about it.
And and you read the whole thing?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Well, listen to it. Yeah.
It's fantastic. Well, I love it so
much. I honestly have, and I have like hundreds of audiobooks in my Kindle profile. Right, like this is the best voice acted and
So well voice acted.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
it's polished as hell. It's great.
I don't know how he does so many voices. It's so impressive. Like,
Oh, you gotta watch. I
You-
I can't send you this link yet,
Yeah,
Molly,
you gotta watch it
because
as
it's
soon
got
as you can.
spoilers. But it's like video of him in the booth doing the voices, and it's wild to watch.
I mean, it's crazy to
I'd be
me because
interested in
he's
seeing that.
like he's self-published, right?
I'm
So how did
literally
he?
sending it to you right now.
Narrator is
Yay.
not the author, to
The
clarify.
narrator's
No,
not
no,
the
I mean,
author.
like,
Yeah.
how did he get? Like, did he have the money to get such a
He
good voice?
self-published, and then he got enough money to do
do the
Pay the
voice
sound booth
covers,
theater,
and
and
then
then
I
that,
see.
yeah.
the narrator owns Sound Booth Studio, who puts it out. So, like, that's the
Mm.
connection.
Ryan,
Um,
I was so tempted to click on the book 7
There's
old reads, but it was like
the
spoilers. And I was like,
old
"God
reads
damn it."
of the next book are out there in that YouTube channel. So
Yeah.
When does it come
spoilers
out?
soon.
the book is out.
Uh,
The audiobook is February.
Mm.
yeah.
I was listening to an audiobook that was like a full cast, and I was like, "What do you mean you need more than one person
Yeah, no
to
kidding.
do all the voices? Come
Oh
on,
yeah,
Yeah.
dude, it's so
step
wild.
it up!"
He'll be like, "Oh, he sounded like he was a South African," and then like the narrator proceeds to speak in a South African accent, and I'm like, "How is he so good at this? Like, it's amazing."
Yeah.
Reddit threads that are
Voice
like, "No,
actors
but
are just
who else is in
crazy.
it? No, but who else?"
Yeah,
Everyone's
it's
like,
just him.
"One
Yeah, shit's real good.
All right, guys, I
Anyway,
gotta go lose
bye,
my
internet.
sanity on the last day of the League of Legends season. So, see you
Bye,
guys later.
internet.
Yeah.
Bye.